Hello, and welcome to Local Listens. On this week's episode, we invite Texas musician Jesse Sendejas on to talk about his music, projects, hobbies, and some crazy stories. Other local musicians are mentioned throughout the episode, and you can find links to those musicians in the episode description.
I'm Bailey of Bailey Ukulele.
And I'm Shane of Sanatorium Hill. And we have Jesse of Days
Everything.
and Days, Escape from the Zoo, Chad Hates George.
Hello, thank y'all for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for
thank you for
stopping
coming in,
by.
man.
Did I miss any of your projects?
Days and Days, Escape from the Zoo, and Chat Hates George are like the main three. But
Okay.
Got it.
there's a few other lesser known ones probably.
Right.
Okay. So I gotta get
Shane,
into like
ooh.
the deep web and try to find something.
Right, the deep cuts. Yeah.
All right. So you play the guitar and you sing. Is there any other instruments that you play?
Yeah, on any Days and Days song, really, maybe for a few in Oogle Death Machine, I'm playing all the instruments aside from the trumpet. So Whitney's
Wow.
always trumpet and vocals, and I record everything else.
Jeez.
I'm lucky if I can play the harmonica at the same time as the guitar and not fuck up.
The harmonica's fucking hard, man. I still haven't. I can like fake it, you know. If I'm playing guitar, I can like in the key of C with the C harmonica, I can make it sound okay, but I can't actually play it. It's difficult.
Yeah. I think the harmonica is actually a myth. I don't think anyone actually can play. Our brain gets tricked into thinking that we can play. So now when we try to do it, we're like, oh yeah, that sounds about right.
I
There are
mean,
just
that's
some
pretty
people
close.
that can fake it better than other people.
Right.
That seems about
exactly.
right. I had one guy ask me at like an open mic if I had the right harmonica to play some jazz tunes with him, and I'm like, I've never played jazz harmonica before in my life. I'm not gonna just murder an open mic night real quick.
Yeah, that'd be rough. That'd be rough. But,
So the Days and Days recordings, because like live, you got the wash tub bass going. Do you record the wash tub bass, or is that just like an acoustic bass or whatever you record?
Up until Crustfall, I think most of it was Gut Bucket. And like in Rogue, definitely up until Rogue Taxidermy, it was just Gut Bucket. And then in Rogue Taxidermy, I did like half and half kind of. I would do like acoustic bass and just play with my fingers to kind of simulate the sound. But like Gut Buckets are so fucking hard to record. To get like
Oh,
a good
yeah.
Gut Bucket sound, it's just a
Right.
nightmare because like you pick up all the metal bending and shit.
Yeah.
On the last record we did, Show Me the Blueprints, our buddy Johnny who recorded it did such a good job. You could actually like pick up on the notes, and it sounded like really full and nice. And we still only used it in like a handful of spots throughout the entire album. Most of that one is acoustic based. It's just easier, and
Gotcha.
I mean it's great for shows, easier to travel with than like a stand up bass.
Oh
And
yeah.
you know,
Right.
I like the aesthetic of it too, and I do really like how it sounds, and especially like it gives Jeff a little room to like improvise if I go off the rails and start playing some shit that we didn't talk about before the show. You know, he can like it's easier than him actually having to know the like what frets to play on and stuff.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, most of the recordings are probably me playing an acoustic bass.
All right. Because I
Gotcha. That's cool though.
before I moved out west to Washington, I played Gut Bucket with Skeleton Royals back in Wisconsin, and
Oh, word. Yeah.
I recorded like that first album that DC put out. That whole album has no bass on it because I couldn't fucking get it to sound right. I was like, nope, not happening. So we just kind of increased the low
Yeah.
end on the guitar and hoped it worked.
There you go.
Yeah,
That works. I've done that before
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just create your own bass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when
There you
did
go.
you actually get started with music?
Just out of boredom, really. I mean, Whitney and I had moved to San Marcos, which I mean, it's like a small college town. If you're not into like keg parties and you know you're not going to the college, which I wasn't. Whitney was, but she was trying to stay removed from that college culture, you know. So
Right.
it was fucking boring. And we had an acoustic guitar and a keyboard, and we decided to spend time just writing dumb little songs, and we just never stopped.
Right on.
There you go. That's kind of cool that you kind of just like, yeah, let's just, let's do something. And then it just kind of spun into what it is today. That's kind of awesome.
Yeah, that's how you do it, right? You just
Right.
start with an idea and never stop
Yeah.
Right.
putting effort towards that idea.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's been my fucking issue with COVID and everything, because it's just like, all right, so there's no shows. Like, I kind of can't really go out and like play on the street.
Well, the other
So,
thing too is like no one shows up. If you go
yeah.
busking, like there's no one there because they're all inside and they're all not going out.
Yeah, so like the
Yeah.
motivation to like really keep writing and stuff kind of fell off.
I was talking to someone the other day about busking through the whole COVID deal, and yeah, I don't. I mean, even if there was someone, if you're playing at like a stoplight or something, no one's gonna like roll their window down and hand you money. Like they don't want
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
touch you. Not like before all the COVID shit, no one would want to like actually hand me money, because they have to get close to you, and there's preconceived notions that come with playing music on the side of the
Right.
road.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, especially now, it must be a nightmare. I did see someone flying a sign not too long ago that just had a Venmo on it, that I thought was fucking brilliant. So maybe that's the future of busking. Just fly a
That might
sign
be it. Yeah.
for Venmo.
That's genius.
Hey,
Yeah, there you go. Got a evolve.
There you
downtown
go.
Seattle, there was like 2019. There was this guy that was handing out CDs, and I was like, "Sorry, I'm like, I got no cash on me. I'm not really interested." And he was like, "I accept credit cards," and I was like, "What?" Like,
Pulls out like the square reader. Here you
yeah.
go, swipe.
I was like, I don't know if I trust that, but like, I hope your album's good.
I had a guy one time I was working a Blink-182 concert and this rapper guy was like, "Hey, you want him on my CD, man?" And I was like, "Bro, I don't have any cash on me or whatever." And he goes, "Oh, don't worry. I also accept card. I also accept checks. I also accept Bitcoin." It was like all these different things. I'm like,
Bitcoin.
like what?
Holy shit!
Oh yeah. I mean, why lock yourself into cash, right?
Yeah.
That's how you do it.
Right.
I accept
Exactly.
GameStop stock.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
you're down in Houston, right? Or
Yeah.
okay, how did COVID like affect the local venues and stuff down there? I know around Seattle and Tacoma, we've lost a couple.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, as far as like punk venues go, we weren't doing super great before COVID. Like when I was a kid growing up, we had like some kick-ass fucking punk venues, and then everything, everyone moved to Austin, and everything kind of fell off a little bit. But there was a few that are hanging in there. There's some really nice house venues too that are sticking around because they're just houses,
Oh
So
yeah.
at least we can
Right.
come back to that.
I feel like
We'll
house
have
venues
those
are the way to
collections.
go nowadays because like before COVID, there were some venues we had that were cool that were kind of falling apart. Like the Plaid Pig was kind of doing that. They're a venue in Tacoma. They were struggling for a while, and it was just like I just kind of felt like house venues are the way to go because it's at your house. You don't really got to worry about like the whole like maintenance. I guess technically, I guess it's just this whole like do it yourself thing.
No
It
matters
kinda,
how
I
rowdy the
don't know.
show gets.
Right?
That's
Yeah,
true, yeah.
definitely.
I mean, yeah, as long as you can have a show and not have the cops come fucking shut it down, that's
Right.
the
Yeah.
main
Right.
issue
That's the goal.
with house.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
if you can get by with it, I take a house show over a venue show any day of the week.
I would too.
Oh
I
yeah.
love house shows. They're
Yeah,
the best.
we
And
got
it's a more
lucky.
intimate experience.
Yeah, we got lucky. We've had a couple shows here, and our neighbor is a convenience store that closes at 11. So,
I will say, talking about house shows, one of my favorite house shows I've ever been to was at the Hive in Seattle, where the both of you played, and that was
Oh
a
shit!
trip. That was a
oh
trip.
god, that was a fun show.
That was
Was that
so good. I was freaking out
was
there.
that the show where there was like couches kind of lining the room, and everyone, the bands were playing like with their backs against the bar where the kitchen was at?
No, it was
No,
like downstairs in a basement area. You guys were playing a Chad Haynes George show, and it was like in this
Okay.
basement area.
Oh
And
shit! That's
Bird Teeth was playing, and
Yeah, that was so
yeah,
fucking
yeah,
good. That little
yeah,
makeshift like foot tall stage.
yeah.
yeah, with a
No,
hole
that
in the
was
middle
so
of it.
fun.
That was fucking great. Hell yeah, that was a
Yeah,
really
dude,
good time.
that was a cool show. I like that a lot. I love those kind of shows where like it's all like small and intimate, and you get to really hear the songs instead of being like in the back, like, "Hang on, I can hear you. I'm over here." Like,
But
I don't
we
know.
we didn't know that Rent Strike was playing with Chad Hates George.
Mhm.
So I had the set to like open up that show. Our like housemate Eugene, who plays as Counterfeit Reality, really wanted to play as well. So like halfway through our set, we were like, "Cool, we're gonna get off. Eugene's gonna play a set," and they started playing Fair Trade Death March. as like John came down the fucking stairs.
That
It was
wow.
so cool. He just kind of stood there confused for a second. It was so funny.
You know that sound. It sounded like he just appeared out of thin air. Like you just playing the song, and there he is.
Yeah, you play Rinse Strike and you
Summoned
summon him.
You're right.
Yep.
That's
Okay.
awesome.
So, what would you say like your influences are with music? Like, is it within the genre, or is it just kind of like whatever the fuck you're into at the time?
Definitely whatever I'm into at the time. But like the influences that have stuck with me since I started playing music was like all of Pat the Bunny stuff. That's like kind of what got me into, made me realize I could play, punk music with just an acoustic guitar. All like the Steady Seven stuff.
Oh yeah.
Watsky has been a huge fucking influence on me. Just like,
Nice.
I mean, when I first heard Watsky, I was blown away that he could make positive music that didn't sound fucking cheesy. It's like heartfelt and still not depressing as shit. It's like
Right.
that was my fucking motivation music for it still
yeah.
is, but emotion is a given, right?
Oh yeah,
It'd be
Right,
weird
right.
if you weren't influenced by
Right.
emotion. Yeah, I just play music because other music exists. No one does that.
Like
But
monotone music. That'd be weird.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't this I guess I play a lot of video games and then some like actually take from art and imagery and like the Dark Souls series is fucking beautiful. Any of those
Yeah.
From Software games I've taken a lot of not obviously not lyrics or anything, but just kind of the vibe and the aesthetic and the feeling of those games, how they're dark, but there's
Right.
still like a flicker of hope there for some reason, even if you can't really put your finger on what it is.
oh
I
yeah,
like
Right.
that.
That's awesome.
yeah. Especially with Dark Souls, because it's just like you struggle so fucking much to get through one little spot, and you finally get through, and you're like, all right, cool,
Yeah,
awesome, and then it happens again.
for sure. These roadblocks are coming. There's going to be tough shit to deal with in the future, but if you're patient and you persevere, you can fucking get through all of them, right?
Oh yeah,
There we
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
you totally learn how to like set it down and come back later. Otherwise, you're
Right.
gonna break something.
Exactly.
It's a great lesson to learn too.
Yeah,
For
Not
sure.
just with video
For
games,
sure.
obviously.
yeah.
For all the kids out there listening, there you go.
I am not one to underappreciate the merit of a bit of escapism every now and again.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, we got the whole fucking PSVR set up over here and shit. So like even when I feel like painting or something, sometimes we have like a little painting app on the VR thing, and so I'll go and like paint in like a 3D space, and that's even though I'm still kind of dealing with whatever I'm dealing with and trying to make it into some kind of art. It's nice to like do it in a space that isn't associated with the real world. You know what I mean?
Oh
Does that
yeah.
make sense?
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
somebody let it slip that they ordered like that Oculus Quest 2 for me, and I am
Nice.
so fucking excited to play in VR.
that's
Oh,
fucking
that'll be
sick.
fun.
So
That'll be
excited.
Hell
fun.
yeah. When we just had Elliot from We the Heathens down here to record the new Escape from the Zoo album, and all like most of what we did in our downtime was play Super Hot VR. I don't know if y'all are
Nice.
familiar,
Nice.
but
Yep.
we're obsessed. It's that game's
That's awesome.
that's like the pinnacle of PSVR in my opinion.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's weird. My wife was like really skeptical about us getting it because she was like certain that I would just lose myself and like Skyrim or something. And
You like go to bed with the Oculus still on, like the VR.
that did happen one night. Like it had to have been like a year and a half ago or something. I was playing Skyrim VR and I was like slamming beers like in the different like Skyrim pubs.
Right.
I ended up I got fucking hammered and I fell asleep with the headset on. Like I blacked out and I woke up in real life and woke up in a bar in Skyrim and I was so confused because I still had the headset on. So I
Oh,
thought
weird.
there was like a solid like 10 seconds where I thought I had like left the house and like went and passed out on the floor of some sketchy like bar.
That's awesome.
That is amazing. That is a song. Someone needs to write a song about
Yeah. Like, so is that song gonna be on the next Escape from the Zoo
Yeah.
album?
Right?
Maybe we'll see.
That's awesome.
You did post that that album is like you finished tracking that album, right?
Yes, we're just waiting on Johnny, who recorded the last Days and Days album, to mix it.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm excited. That's
Nice.
gonna be awesome.
Hope y'all dig it. We'll see how it goes.
Do you have
Yeah.
anything else in the works for like Chad Hates George and Days?
I I don't think I want to put anything else out with Days and Days until, because we still haven't gotten a chance to tour on our last album.
True.
It came out
Right.
it came out in May, and by then we're already, quarantined. So I don't
Right.
want to release more songs and never get to play the songs that we released with, live.
True.
Yeah.
True.
But my sister is here, and Mike is here, and so maybe we'll do some Chad H. George stuff. We've only done that one, like 9 songs or some shit like that, so we're kind of overdue for that, I suppose.
All
Right.
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 Yeah, mentioning Micah, like that fucking Chatterbox album that came out is amazing.
Oh, it's so good.
Oh yeah,
I
crushed it.
I remember when they like first posted about like issues with recording, like I don't know if I should use a metronome to practice and everything, and it was around the same time that we were recording our album. So I was like, I'm gonna reach out and like talk. Everything is gonna be fine. And then we both kind of took the same amount of time to record the album, and that Chatterbox album came out like a week before ours did, and I thought our album was finished. And then I heard the Chatterbox album, and I'm like, I got some more editing to do.
Right.
Yeah, that shit turned out so fucking
So
yeah.
good.
It was really cool because I've heard Micah play those songs live for like, I mean, they must have taken quite a while to make that. I'm not really sure how they went about recording it, but like I was listening to it, and to hear those ideas that Micah had like come to fruition with like a full backing band was just
Yeah.
Yeah,
so good.
like what a fucking great album. So, what was like your writing process? Like, do you come up with like a melody first, or is it just kind of like a line that repeats in your head until you finally write it down?
Um, Usually, unless it's like one of those, rare times where a song kind of just like happens, like the music strike or whatever, that rarely ever happens to me. Typically, it's like I'll just take notes while we're on tour of like random shit that pops in my head. And you can't really write while you're on the road, Even if there's
Right.
time to do it, you just don't have the energy.
Oh yeah,
But so yeah, I'll just take a bunch of notes about like random thoughts that I have that I think I might want to revisit later, and when we get to somewhere where we're going to be stationary for a week or two at a time, I'll sit down and pull the guitar out and just kind of like play some chord progressions that I was digging, and I'll sing gibberish just to get like a cadence down, and I'll record that. So it's just like nonsense words that I think fit really well with, in the scope of this chord progression that I have. And then I'll go back through the notes and see if like maybe something I wrote fits with that cadence of gibberish words that I had. And if I find something that I like, and I'm digging like kind of the topic of the song, and or the different words as puzzle pieces with the gibberish cadence.
That's awesome.
that's cool.
Yeah. That's a cool way to write your music. I
Yeah,
just
It's really
I
it's really fun to just sing gibberish too if you've not
yeah.
tried it,
No.
because like you can
I'm
get like really cool melodies and stuff, and then you get to listen back to yourself sound
yeah.
like a total wingnut.
I'm fully expecting a new Days and Days song where all you guys singing gibberish. I'm waiting for it. That'd
We
be
could
pretty
we
cool.
could probably do like an Escape from the Zoo song where it's all just like
There you
heavy and
go.
doomy and just scream
Yeah.
everything. I bet no one would even notice.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
Everyone would just be like, "Yeah, I totally know what that song was about," even though it's like not even coherent words.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
there's gonna be some like a hardcore fan that's just like, oh yeah, that really gets to me.
You can listen to instrumental pieces, and they strike a chord
Yeah.
with you.
Oh
I
yeah,
guess why
Exactly.
not? Why not
Exactly.
have a gibberish song?
There
yeah.
you go.
Like I got really into like grindcore and stuff in high school, and to this day, like people I know that are really into grindcore are like, yeah, I really like these lyrics. I'm like, yeah, bullshit. You can't understand a damn thing they're saying.
Right. You heard the word "ah" and that was it. The
Yeah,
rest of it was like, "Huh?
like
What was
the
that?"
song
Definitely.
title's a paragraph that you don't even like. It's incoherent, and The guy,
Definitely have to have the lyric sheet with you and everything for sure.
yeah,
Right. You're like trying to follow along like in those sing-alongs, and you're like, wait, where are we at?
like this makes no
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
Syllables, they don't line up.
I've had to sit down and read along to some songs that I've enjoyed before. Sometimes it's sketchy though, because sometimes you really love a song and you're not really sure what they're saying, and you read the lyric book and you're like, this is fucking awesome. It could go the opposite way as well. I mean, you could read the lyrics and be like, this is garbage.
Yeah,
I
like
had no idea
Right.
this is what they were talking about.
you're like maybe I should take this off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Scratch
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Got to be careful and make sure you read those lyric sheets before you go on
Oh,
For
yeah.
sure.
sharing some screaming music with your friends. you know?
Right.
Yeah. Well, you've been playing shows for like years. What's the first thing that comes to mind when you think of like your best and your worst shows?
Best shows, any show that I felt like if I could get off stage and feel confident in what we gave to people that showed up to see us play, that's a great show. I mean, of course, there's standouts. Like my family went with us to Europe one time, and some of those shows are just incredible and surreal and beautiful. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with any show where we don't just completely blow it.
Right.
Worst shows, definitely like when I was drinking like a gallon of vodka a day from morning to night, and just like I was just throwing my hand at the guitar strings and hoping that I was kind of on rhythm. I felt terrible about those shows. Like the poor people that like were maybe excited to see us play, and then I just fucked it up. So yeah,
Yeah.
definitely worst shows, all on me. And to anyone who was at one of those shows, I apologize, and I'll make it up to you in the future when we get back on the road.
There we
I'll
go.
play sober for you.
Yeah, you've been sober for a little while now, right? Or
Yeah, I've been trying. I'm trying not to keep track. Like, I feel like a lot of people celebrate like the 6 months and all that, and that's fucking rad. To each their own. I feel like if I were keeping track of the dates, it would like just keep constantly remind me of it. And
oh yeah.
Right,
for
right,
everybody.
right.
So whatever works for you, go for it.
Yeah. Well,
There you go.
congratulations for getting this far and
Yeah, there you go.
yeah, and for trying in the first place. Like
Appreciate
Yeah.
it.
Hell yeah.
so you've also played a couple like live streams like the Coping with Dystopia stuff and like just like random live streams and stuff. What's your thought on live streams so far?
I mean, it gets the job done, right? That's better than nothing. It is terrifying. Like I feel like I would rather play for 500 people than to just a camera because there's no feedback.
Oh,
If you're
Right.
playing, if you're playing for people, you can see their faces, and if you're like clearly fucking up, you can read the room and kind of tell and
Right.
adjust the course from there. But when you're playing a live stream, at least for me, I stream on my phone because it has a better camera than this, or a better microphone than this computer even. So I can't
Right.
like see the comments or anything. So there's
Yeah.
no feedback at all. It's really just yelling into the void, which is terrifying.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember
Yeah.
like a mix of the both of those together. Last year for my birthday, I was supposed to, if it wasn't going to be COVID, I was supposed to have a birthday show actually at Shane's house. He was setting it up for me and we were doing something together. And then COVID hit, and so we had to do it all virtual. And so everybody was on a video camera. So I could see everybody while they were performing, but it was just the performers that showed up to the show. So it was weird because like you couldn't really, I still felt like I couldn't even feel the room, even though I could see everybody because like everybody was like thinking about, okay, I'm gonna play next. I need to like practice my song. I need a tune. It was a weird experience where like you didn't quite feel like you were playing a show, but you were. And I don't know. It's hard to explain, but
Yeah, it's really disconnected. I think
yeah,
the closest I've gotten to the feeling of actually playing a show through streaming is a couple shows where people just invite everyone to like a Facebook group.
Yeah.
So like everyone's in the group already, like chatting together, and then when it's your time to play, you just go live in the group. So everyone's already
Yeah.
there and kind of just taking their turn. I think
Exactly,
that's a pretty good way to do it.
that's what we did for my birthday. And it worked, but it was just, I don't know, it was kind of weird to me.
Yeah.
But
Also, it really like threw me off for a second because like Bailey and I like we hang out and like play each other's shows and stuff. Like I've played a couple shows with Jesse and like over
Yeah.
like once or twice, and like it's really weird that like, oh yeah, like Bailey and I play in a show, cool, like 20 people show up, like all right, and then Jesse just going like, yeah, I'd rather play in front of 500 people. I'm like, oh yeah, that's a high number, holy shit.
Not to say that we're always played in front of 500 people. That was a hyperbolic example for sure.
Yeah, but it's just
but
like,
yeah,
oh
No, but I
fuck.
mean, hey, right?
I don't know
100
that
people. No thanks.
that like 3 days of playing in Seattle where you Bridge City Centers and like Amigo the Devil played. I'm pretty sure those sold out like all 3 days. And
it probably didn't AJJ headline all three?
Yeah.
yeah, AJJ.
Yeah.
I knew I was forgetting one person. We
Yeah.
actually
No, I
Yeah.
remember I tried to get tickets for that show and they sold out like the day they went on sale. I was like, bro, like I went to go look and I was like, yeah, there's like 2 tickets left on the 3rd day. I'm like, what the heck? I can't even get a ticket. And then all my other friends were like, yeah, we bought our tickets. Like we kept refreshing the page to get our tickets like half an hour before they went on.
yeah
And gosh,
we
like,
got
yeah, that was crazy.
we got lucky to go to that because Jeff posted about how he needed a ride from the airport and we picked him up. And then like he was like, "Oh yeah, I can get you on the list to go on," and that's how we were able to fucking go.
I credit that though because the funny part about that is that you guys were playing those shows, and so now every time I talk about that, I go, "Well, you guys might have seen them play at the fucking big stage, but I saw them at a house venue like the night before their
Yeah.
show, so they don't even play games."
Yeah,
So
literally
everybody's
the
all
night
like, "Yeah, I
before.
saw them on the big stage." I'm like, no, I saw them like face to like, I don't know, I like that a lot better. I thought that was cool.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So, since like all the touring and stuff you've done, what would be like your favorite venue to play at?
Um, Seventh Circle in Denver always pops in my head. I love that spot. It's just real cozy. It sounds great. The stage is like not dauntingly high. You know, it's just like a foot
Right.
tall. It's like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, my favorite venues, I guess, are always like my friend's houses, like we were talking about.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Any house show.
Okay.
They're always the best. That's where you meet everybody, honestly. Like you play a house show and you like you get to meet all the bands and you don't get to do that at regular shows usually because they're like they get on, they play, they get off, they do their own thing. Like it's not usually like it's so chaotic. But at a house show you show up an hour before the show and like hang out with everybody and like sometimes you're helping them set things up and you like, you just dance with your friends. I don't know,
Yeah,
it's such a cool experience.
the vibe is like totally different at house shows.
For sure.
Definitely. It's way less stressful.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You can be yourself more so than you can in a regular show.
Oh yeah. So you mentioned like how you play games and stuff, and like you mentioned painting, but are there any other like hobbies you have outside of music?
That's all I've really been doing. I mean, I'm trying to learn how to play this piano, but that's music still.
Yeah.
That's different for me. But yeah, no, we paint a little bit, playing a ton of video games. Just really, I don't know, just mostly when I'm not working on music, I'm just enjoying being here with my family because I do not get to spend this much time at home. Yeah, I'm trying to soak it up because I know as soon as it's okay to hit the road, it's going to be like that's all we're going to be doing, for
Oh
Right.
yeah. We talked about like at the beginning of last year and like end of 2019 about like going up and doing shows in Canada and everything. And that got shut down like a week after we talked about it.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
horrible, but I'm so excited to finally get out there and fucking
Yeah, I want to go do some touring. Like, let's go. We don't need to do it. We just need to get out there and do our thing.
yeah. I
Like,
mean, Canada is like a 2-hour drive from us on a good
Oh.
traffic day. So
telling you, let's roll.
if you leave on like a Tuesday afternoon, it'll take you like 6 hours to get there. But
Yeah, there you go.
such good shows up there too. Like y'all are pretty close to Victoria, right?
yeah,
Yep, BC.
We've played some really fun shows there. In those
Yeah,
parts.
yeah.
yeah.
It'll
Like,
be fun.
I know like the metal scene in Canada is pretty cool because I went up and I helped the local like folk metal band that goes by Siren's Reign with sound up at a metal festival in like Lone Butte, which is in the middle of fucking nowhere in Canada. and it was this like 2-day metal festival in a barn. It was
Nice.
That's
so
cool.
rad, but the acoustics sucked. So trying to get that dialed in was horrible. And like they're a folk metal band, so at the time they had 8 members.
Oh,
So
jeez.
like a huge
Damn.
drum set and like full stack of bass amps and stuff and a hurdy-gurdy, and I'm like, how's
Oh
this gonna
no.
work at a barn? It was so like we got it dialed in like a couple songs in, but goddamn, middle of nowhere, and it was fucking packed. I was like, okay, Canada knows how to do a fucking metal show. Like this is
Right?
cool,
Let's go.
but
That's awesome.
got to go up and
That's
actually see how other scenes are up there.
Right?
I've never had a bad time up in Canada. It's always the show's always been really, really fun.
All
Everyone's
right.
so accommodating and cool just to kick it with.
Yeah, and they're
Cool.
always. I went to Canada once on a vacation, and everyone up there is so friendly. You
Hell
you
yeah.
go up there, and they're like, how do you like Canada? And you're like, oh, it's okay. And they go, well, if something's wrong, we'll fix it for you. Like, doesn't matter what it is, we'll fix it. Like that's how nice they are,
Maybe the stereotype isn't baseless.
right?
Yeah, we played a show back in Milwaukee, and there was like a couple kids from Canada like hitchhiking down, and like they were heading to Houston or they were heading down to Texas. I know that. And we talked to them after our set, and they were just like, yeah, like cool, we've never heard of you before, we liked your set, hit us up if you ever go through Canada, we'll hook you up with a couple shows. And we're like, cool, thanks. I still talk to them every once in a while because they were just like
Oh
cool to
yeah,
hang out with. But it's
shout
just
out
like,
to the Canadians.
yeah, the 2 Canadian people that like fucking showed up at this random show on like a Thursday afternoon.
Yeah, there you go.
That's what's up. Yeah, there's been so many times where we just met people and they're like, "Hey, if you come through here, we'll hook you up with shows." And you take them up on that offer. It's how you make,
Oh yeah,
How you make friends,
networking, right? Yeah.
right?
that's what I love about like the DIY music scene. I've played in like metal bands and tech death bands and shit. And it's just like, cool, if we want a show, we need a couple weeks of talking to a venue to try to bribe them to let us play. And then maybe they'll let us by the deadline, and then we can maybe get a flyer set out by the time that the show comes. A more DIY scene, it's just like, hey, we got an opening in like a couple weeks. Can we like jam in your backyard? And people are normally
Right.
like, yeah, cool, sure.
Yeah, for
Right.
sure.
Like everybody does a house venue, it's just like, yeah, I got these buddies coming into town that play music, so we're just gonna throw together a show. You want to come play a couple songs before they start?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was telling
Exactly,
somebody
exactly.
at some point about how like we turned our house into like a venue and everything and had shows. And we're like, yeah, we like had a couple punk shows and stuff. And they're like, oh, cool. Can like this guy that I know that's like fucking in the casualties, can they play? And we're like, no, we can't handle that. We can handle like 30 people in our living room, all right?
Right. That was
Alright.
like, remember when the Cathedral house venue in Tacoma, they had a show once with somebody from Chumbawamba that came,
Oh, yeah.
and
Oh
dude,
shit.
that was like 50 people in the room. Like that was nuts. I got to the show, opened up the door, and then I said, yeah, I'm not gonna fit, and I left. I couldn't even go inside. There was too many people.
Yeah, I had a
That was
fucking
a
work
crazy
that
show.
night, and I should have been there.
Yeah,
should've.
that was a good. I should have too, but I couldn't fit. You wouldn't have been able to fit unless
Yeah,
you got there early.
I'm pretty sure I was at like WAMU setting up for a Weezer show that night. So it was like
Okay.
work with Weezer or see like an acoustic Chumbawamba set. Like
Yeah,
okay, like I really have to
Yeah.
do the whole like work with Weezer part at this point, but
yeah.
yeah, God, I wish
But
I
hey, at
was
least you
there.
can say you got to work with Weezer though. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it was a pretty cool set. Like WAMU's always a fun place to work at, but like
Yeah.
Like helping set up or run sound or something.
yeah, I'm a stagehand and an audio engineer, so most of the time I'm just kind of like setting up stages and like being kind of the like local roadie. But there's some shows but they're like, yeah, we need like an assistant at front of house, and I'm like, cool. Fucking went down to Portland and ran front of house for The Offspring and Against Me a couple years ago, and that was like a dream show. Like Laura
Damn.
came
Nice.
up to me
That's
beforehand, and I was wearing like a Mischief Brew hat, and they were like, "I really love your hat," and I was like, "I like your band," because I didn't know what to fucking say.
Hell yeah.
That's awesome.
I think about that every once in a while, and I'm like, yeah, I wonder if they remember that, because I sure as fuck do.
That's awesome.
Worked some pretty cool shows, but
Yeah.
yeah, there's still nothing like close to just like going to a fucking house show and being like, all right, cool, no speakers to set up tonight, sweet, like so much easier.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
I wanted to ask, like, with all the shows and stuff you've played over the years, what's one band that you wish you could perform with that you haven't yet?
Good question. Like just anybody, like shoot for the stars, or like maybe that could happen.
Both.
Why
I
not
like
both?
both of them answered. Yeah. I like them both answered.
But we haven't gotten to play with Against Me yet. I feel like maybe that doesn't sound like out of the realm of
No,
possibility.
I
You know?
could see
Yeah.
that. I could see that
I
being
feel
a
like
good show.
maybe we can do that. Just anybody like shooting for the stars.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like Weezer would be pretty cool.
Yeah,
That'd be
that would be pretty cool.
That was actually, for a long time, people thought that we had opened for Weezer because one of our like earlier shows was Summerfest in Houston, and technically we opened for Weezer just hours before them on a stage like hundreds of yards away from where they played.
All
There
right.
you go.
Yeah,
I personally, I'd put that on the resume. Yep, we opened for Weezer.
Technically we opened for
Right.
Weezer.
On a technicality.
Yeah, I mean, aside from maybe my dad's a huge Billy Joel fan, so just for him, maybe that if
That'd be cool.
for some just random ass reason we ever got to open for Billy Joel.
That would be awesome.
When you know you've made it is when you can open for Billy Joel.
I've gone
Or something's
through,
just fucked up with the simulation.
yeah, I've gone through waves of trying to learn We Didn't Start the Fire, and on guitar it is like pretty easy, but then you realize there is a dictionary worth of lyrics there.
That one and I've Been Everywhere, the Johnny Cash song.
Yeah.
Those are the two, like, good fucking luck trying to remember that shit. Like,
Oh yeah,
I don't have the space in my hard drive anymore.
yeah. Like
Yeah.
maybe if I have like an earpiece on and like it's playing, so I can go with
Yeah.
it. But yeah, not happening.
Do you have like any like crazy show stories? Like anything that was weird? Why did that happen?
We were playing in New Jersey once in a basement, and someone ran down the basement stairs on like a Green Man outfit and threw a military-grade smoke bomb into the show.
What the fuck?
So that was pretty
That's
awful.
weird. Wow.
Yeah,
What?
it was horrifying. It was just like it was just a show, and then the next second it was like a war zone. I remember Megan like grabbed my hand. She's like, "Go, go, go! We gotta get!" I like hunched down. Like,
I'd be like,
horrifying.
I'd cry. I'd be like, no, something wrong. Like,
we just finished the
gosh.
show in the backyard, but yeah, it was
Holy
that one
shit!
sticks out.
that's weird.
Yeah, that'd be fucking weird.
I'm like,
That's
I don't know
pretty
when I would in that kind of situation. I don't know whether to like scream and run or whether to like keep going and make it seem like it's part of the show. Like,
It was definitely not part of the show. No
yeah,
one there.
oh yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah,
Are you sure you didn't hire the green guy to come down and throw them out and smoke off?
I did it. Maybe like Whitney did and failed.
Yeah,
to
there you
mention it
go.
to anybody, and then she felt bad about it afterwards, and so now she can't fess up to it.
Right, there you go. We
One of
got
those
you.
things you just, it went too far.
Yeah, I'll take it to my
It's
grave.
been eating me alive for years. I just have to get it off, get it off my chest.
write a book about it, and like on your deathbed, like, I have to admit that this
I
happened.
hired the green man. Interesting. So if you're diagnosed with like 6 months to live or something, that would be a pretty fun way to spend the 6 months. Just
Yeah.
come up with like a complete bullshit story, but like confess it to somebody. Like these are all the secrets I never told anybody.
Oh yeah. Like, somebody's gonna write a book and be like, yeah, so this guy said he did all this, and then like years later, people will be like, yeah, none of this ever fucking happened.
This guy is delusional. There's no way he went to the moon
Yeah.
on like a pink rocket ship. He did not do that, I swear.
Why did they write this?
Liar to the bitter end.
Liars. This was fun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this
it
was
was.
cool.
Thank you all so much for for having me on. I appreciate it. It's a good time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cool. Well,
Yeah.
thanks to everyone that listened. Jesse, thanks so much.
Here's a song off Jesse's latest album with Days and Days, Show Me the Blueprints, entitled Saboteur. Make sure to listen to his other projects, Chad Hates George and Escape from the Zoo. And thank you so much for tuning in to this week's episode of Local Listens. Next week's guest is Wyatt Bender, a Washington local musician talking about how his school experience has helped him with his music. We hope you tune in next time and have a great and music-filled week.
Might have been our one chance to experience firsthand all the culture and the beauty of the state. But when we arrived, I couldn't bring myself to leave the car. Stayed locked away with my guitar, and while the others studied the mountains and the rivers, I just stared down at my fretboard pad and pen. Lately I've been struggling to conjure up a band-aid for this problem that is freshly manifested in my brain. It seems as though I've grown a light switch deep within the recess of my psyche. When it flipped renders me borderline insane. It's like 10 seconds ago everything was fine and dandy, but now everything is fucked, and there ain't no rhyme or reason for my seething. I just wanna be okay, but I feel stuck. Often always on the road, so one year we organized a trip. We'd take to Lake Tahoe, place we'd been when I was younger. All the memories are golden, but when we arrived I found myself down at the bar, blackout drunk and seeing stars, while my loved ones all played board games by the fire. I did drink myself within an inch of death. I'm no stranger to mistakes. It feels like every step I take I trip myself up, can't get out of my own way. I'm by far my harshest critic and a cynic, too neurotic to accept that sometimes shit is just okay. There's always gotta be some problem I alone must solve, but that just ain't the case at all. Cause I got friends and family, but my worst enemy is me, and me just can't escape my head. Cause I was born to sabotage myself, but that's on me and no one else. I'm a